baby, come back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast today. Another solo episode. Another one, okay? Some people like the solos. Some people like the guests. Some people like the back and forth with Day Mendoza, ladies and gentlemen. He's off doing bigger and better things this week, okay? Listen, we're lucky to have him when he flies into the coop. It's like you ever had a wild bald eagle land on your forearm while you're out in the wilderness? I haven't, but I imagine it's bliss. Okay. And that's what it's like. You ever walked out into a meadow and a baby deer walks up to you and you feed it and it nuzzles into your arm and you just go, shh, it's going to be okay. I'm your daddy now. Okay. I'm going to take care of you from here on out. All right. Just like in the Goonies, when Sloth was getting taken care of by Chunk. You know what I would love to do? He says, I'm going to take care of you. And he goes, Sloth. Dude, crazy. I would love to see a part 2 and 3 of Goonies, the later years, where Sloth, where Chunk is just being held to the fire on his obligation of raising Sloth. Okay, because Sloth, God bless his soul. Okay. Probably like taking, a rescue dog where you're like, I don't know what's going on with this thing. Okay. I'm sure you're going to get a rescue dog home to your house. It's always a mystery pet. Okay. Getting a rescue dog is a lot like running through that mystery cube on Mario Kart. All right. I sound 97,000 years old. Okay. Getting a rescue pet is like hitting the mystery cubes on Mario Kart, okay? It's going ding, 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 ding. Don't know what you're going to get. Oh, cool. I got a violent killer that gets triggered if it sees a tire hanging in the tree. That can happen to you if you rescue a pet from a certain NFL player's backyard, okay? Something you don't think about a lot is... some of those dogs that, with Michael Vick, I know this has been beat to death, like some of those dogs, poor taste. Some of those dogs got rescued, okay? Is it like when you have celebrity realtors where they just be like, you're going to go buy a house in the Hollywood Hills and you're like, just so you know, this house used to be owned by Anne Hathaway, just like some random thing. Do shelters do that too? They're like, just so you know, this little kombucha poodle, whatever the hot little designer dog is at the time, this little Maltese used to be Paris Hilton's. Okay. It was actually in the background. You could hear it in the Night in Paris video. Okay. That has to happen. All right. Was there any of those dogs that were recovered from Michael Vick's backyard? Something like 90 dogs. Wasn't that what was recovered? Not one of those dogs, unbeknownst to those owners, got, let them know what was going on with that dog. That you go there with your family and you're like, yeah, we're just looking for something. It doesn't need to be that young. It can have some miles on it. Like it's a pre-owned dog. Whatever. Yeah, well, it's a German. Yeah, sure. It'd be great with the kids. And that German Shepherd's in the corner like this, just shadow boxing. Kind of a red flag. You go to get a dog from the shelter and it's just shadow boxing in the corner. All right. Walking back and forth, looking at your kid like it's Darth Maul waiting for the shield to fall down. It's not a good sign. Okay. This is because, you just gotta take those dogs somewhere else. You gotta drop them off. They just send them. They should send them to, I don't know. Let's not keep doing this bit. Anyway, that's all that to be said. You get a dog home from the shelter, it's gonna have some behavior problems. You get Sloth home from the Goonies. Chunk's gonna be like, why did you rip another squirrel's head off? And Sloth is gonna be like, for food. I can't even do a Sloth impression. Okay. Yeah, man, that you gotta wonder. The weirdest market to me. Well, one of them is the dog world. I think about dogs way too much for a human. Okay, it's crazy that these all used to be wolves. Dude, all before I didn't even say Dalen Mendoza. It's like one of those wild animals. They just come and you're happy when they're there, and then they go off and they do a thing like a butterfly lands on your nose in a Pixar movie, and you just go, oh, and then just go be beautiful, you butterfly. All right. Anyway, the dog market. Do we even want to talk about this, ladies and gentlemen? Now let's go to Star Wars. Okay, it was May the 4th. Okay, May the 4th be with you. Listen. My life is different now. Being a father, a budding father, okay? I got one kid under my belt, okay? And I probably got a few more hanging in there under my belt. You know what I'm saying? Hey, got him. My time is tight nowadays, okay? And it's the last thing people want to hear. There's a certain thing that happens when someone just starts talking about parenting. We get it. You're a parent. You got it. It's all you can. It's not because I think it's the coolest thing in the world. I think it's very cool. It's the only thing I'm doing. Okay. You know how many hobbies I have now? My hobbies, I have the hobbies of a homemaker, I have the hobbies of a nesting bird. Okay. That's all I got going on is all I am in my home. I'm a groundskeeper. All right. That's all my job description is. Okay. We got to do this. We got to do it. Okay. Thursday. Got to put the trash out. I got some groundskeeper. You ever seen the old guy lurking in the back of a, you get the metaphor? That's all I am now. I'm now just someone pushing a broom through my home. I'm that old elf on Harry Potter. Okay, that bitter one in the what household that was. What was the dude? I forgot his name. That little house elf that just mumbled to himself and was just like, man, fuck this shit. That elf that was saying, that's me. Okay. And I'm just doing that in my own house. All right. I'm in my garage tinkering. All right. There's something you can't comprehend when you're a child, but when you become an adult man with responsibilities, a man's garage is his safe place. That's his holy trinity, okay? I don't believe in domestic abuse. I believe in it like it's a real thing, okay? I believe in it like it happens, but I don't subscribe to it, okay? But when you come into the garage, this is my world, okay? I'm like a killer whale at SeaWorld. You have to know, you jump into the water with a killer whale. You have to know, these are my dark waters. It's okay if I flip you 50 feet in the air and you land on the ground. Okay. That's metaphorically, I'm Shamu in that situation. All right. You should know what you were getting into. That's what the garage is to a man. Okay. You've entered the octagon with me. If you come into the garage and you don't, it's very Congo. Okay. What was that book? Was it Congo? The book where the gorillas, listen, you have to avoid eye contact. You come in here, you bring a gift. Okay. Don't just, every woman, and listen, women know it, they disrespect a man's garage. You know what they do? Every woman goes to the door of a garage and basically disc golfs, okay? She frisbees Amazon boxes just through the garage, just like she's playing horseshoes, trying to see how big of a pile she can get on the other side. That's what every woman does, trying to disrespect the kingdom that his man has built for his own peace, okay? They'll say, yeah, you can have this whole little thing, but you got to know I'm going to disrespect it with some empty Amazon boxes. Man, cardboard has had a hell of a come up, huh? I wonder if people thought cardboard was going to go the way of regular mail and something that, like, there's got to be someone who invested in, they probably had like diamonds or something, or they were like, I either invest all my money in NFTs or cardboard. And they were like, oh, NFTs for sure. That's not totally the worst investment in the world. And then cardboard just took off. Oh, the future is gold. And then no, the future is cardboard. All right. Cardboard is kind of the most profitable industry. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying, dude. The people who invest in NFTs though, dude, this is why you can't trust people who made money off of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not a real investment. Let's be honest, okay? The people who made a lot of money off of Bitcoin also said NFTs were going to be a big thing. And they couldn't explain why. They were just regurgitating things they saw in a Gary Vee video, all right? A quarter of a beanie on, Gary Vee is sitting there telling you non-fungible tokens, okay? And then explaining, you can own this. And you're like, well, can I just print it and put it on my wall? Yeah, but you don't own it. You're like, I think I'll be good enough without that. Okay, I don't need the ownership of it, dude. Everybody thought NFTs were going to take off, that I own the code. Why? What? Humans care too much, all right? Anyway, almost went down another metaphor, but we're not going to do it, okay? I've been getting pretty metaphor heavy on the podcast. These are why the solo episodes, I have to be my own governor on it, okay? Because I'll just get off talking about something that we're just like, what are we doing here? All right? I get tunnel vision. I get lost in the cave of life, okay? And I'm just out here trying to survive, ladies and gentlemen. Had a good weekend. What did I do this weekend? Had a couple shows at Wake the Dead. It was a great little show in San Marcos. All right. I think we're going to be back June 6th. I think we're headlining another Wake the Dead in San Marcos. I think that's the date. All right. I just, maybe it's June 6th. Bam. June 6th, dude. That's how you know I'm a professional, terrible comedian. I know my dates, dude. Also, big news in talk with another show. Just had a meeting today, a Google Meet meeting that I'm very excited about. But it's going to be a really fun summer series that I think we're going to green light. And your boy is very happy. I'm very stoked on it. Okay. God is good. Or he's whatever. Whoever's fueling me from the beyond. Okay. I hope it's the blue guy. That's truly who I'm kind of rooting for. Okay. In the end is lights go out. I awake in a paradise, and the blue guy is just forearmed up, just going. Dun, 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 dun. Almost did an accent, but we're not going to. Okay, landmines everywhere trying to get me. This is what's weird with the internet. The internet is strange. I don't see the internet the same as I think regular people see the internet. I look at the internet as a tool. Okay. I got to create a footprint online. This is how the cookie crumbles, is comedians and people who try to sell tickets. You have to have a reason to buy that ticket. And in this economy and in this world, someone spending $15 to come spend an hour and a half with you on a comedy show means a lot to me. I take it very serious when people spend money to come spend an evening with me. Dude, when my face is on the flyer and I'm going to have to headline a show and I see tickets are selling, it's the weirdest thing ever to me, because I start getting so nervous if things start selling well and it starts being like, oh shit, okay, I'm going to have to actually perform. This feels and then I get nervous because I respect people's time and their money. And especially, not to bring this back to being a parent, it's something I didn't really comprehend. You can comprehend it from the outside, but being in it, you just go, oh shit, is when people come to your show and you find out that they have a babysitter and, they have 3 kids and they got, this was their night out. They get one every couple months. I had someone at the 6 p.m. show every Friday at East Austin Comedy Club. And they got a babysitter. They have 3 kids at home. And luckily, it was a good show. And I found that through, they had a front row ticket, and was talking to them a little bit during the show. Your boy's a crowd work hack, as the internet says. that they got a babysitter. This was their one night out. They hadn't been out in a few months. And I remember talking to them after the show, and I was like, I hope it was worth getting a babysitter. And they're like, oh, we laughed so much, it was such a great time. And that means the world to me. And that's like something that, I don't know. I don't ever lose that, I don't think. It's easy to lose it, and it's easy to get lost in the sauce. And I'm sure it ebbs and flows where you stop, you go through these lulls of being like, if life is taking you too much, you're too distracted. But like, I try to always, I think it's important. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what you're doing, with whether it's you do woodworking, you're a fisherman, whatever life is that you do for your job, for your career. I hope you do something that's fulfilling and you enjoy. But when you can pause and just look at things you've accomplished and parts of the journey that you're at, I think that's important. And to celebrate it and to understand that like I don't think there is anything else other than, as corny as it is, and we hear it, but we don't really listen. We don't really understand it. We just go, yeah, that's true. The whole thing is just the journey. That's all there is. That's all there is. There's nothing else. Sure, there's financial reward, and there's security, and there's milestones. But then you hit a milestone, and then you go, well, now I just put my clip on this side of the mountain. Now I need to go higher. Now I just restarted that. And now I'm worrying about this. And I'm not anywhere where I want to be. I'm on my way. Because I'm just going to keep working towards this thing. I'll never get to where I did it. Now I'm done. There's no retiring in the sense of my life, my goals and what I want to do. I think I'm always going to I think that I'm unfortunately wired where I'm always going to need a goal. I'm always going to need something that I need to try to reach. It's just the way my brain is wired. Whatever trauma or deficiency or whatever you want to call it, for some reason has that dumb thing in me. And maybe it's not dumb. Maybe it's the reason why people just do crossword puzzles. I think it's just a baseline human thing that you have to stay striving for something. You need a checklist. You need to, do tasks to feel fulfilled and happy. Unfortunately for me, I'm wired like that, where I don't just feel content if I'm not trying to do things uncomfortable, and everything gets if things actually start going a little too smooth, I start going, ooh, something's gonna go wrong here. So I always have to be working towards something and doing something, or I don't know, the darkness creeps in. But all that to be said, I think it's important to celebrate little wins. I think it's important to stop and reflect and go, shit, 2 years ago, I would have been dying for the problems that I have, for all these things. And I mean, I moved to Austin, not to just only talk about things that no one else cares about. I moved to Austin in 2021 just with the goal to do stand-up. I just wanted opportunity. That's all I moved here for, is I just wanted to be able to try to get better at stand-up and to do it. And I was grinding open mics. I remember I would spend my entire night. Like I remember my fiance at the time, now wife and mother of my child. What the fuck, dude? We went to the apartment, and I gave myself, I think, 3 or 4 days. I said, okay, we just moved here. Let's settle. Let's go eat. Let's spend 3 or 4 days, and then the grind starts. And then I started going to open mics. I remember I found a website. I went, it was like Austin Comedy, shout out on Instagram. I still think it's a great page to follow if you're trying to find open mics and everything like that. I think it was like Austin, Texas Comedy or Austin something like that. But they would have a list of every single open mic happening that night. And because I didn't know anybody, it was just trying to do open mics. And I think the first one I went up at was the Creek in the Cave in Austin. And I think I met Hans Kim like that first day or something. And then very sweet, he gave me a Google Drive document. Like he DM'd me it of all the other open mics and things to do that weren't on the Austin, Texas page. And I would map out my week and just, I would write for 30 minutes every morning. I would run through my material for 30 minutes, like where I would just sit there just saying the jokes and trying to see if there's new tags and new ways to do it and keeping it fresh. So I would do all this psychotic stuff and in my bathroom with a microphone. Like I remember, bless my girl's heart, I pretty much am like a psychosis patient. I would just be in there going over it, and then I would go out. I'd map out my whole week, and I'd be like, okay, I'm going to try hit 3 open mics tonight. I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to go here. And then I would just spend my time just trying to get to do stand-up. Not even for like other people. Like it was hard. It was tough. Open mics are not fun. They're very like soul wrenching. And if they're just, you're performing for, maybe you'll get 3 minutes. And that's the other thing is try to do 3 open mics in a night. That's good, at least in my book, because sometimes you have to go sign up. There's no, hey, DMing and blah, blah, blah. You're like lowest on the totem pool. You just go, you sign up, and you're there for like 2.5 hours. You got to stay 2.5 hours just waiting for a chance to go on in front of, there's other comics, but then there's like maybe 2 audience members, and you're hoping they don't leave so you can like have a fresh bot. Like if you go to an open mic and there was like 8 non-comics, that shit was fire. You're like, I'm about to hit them with the classics, but then I got to work on new material also. I'm like, but I'm going to actually get a real feedback from an audience. And that was like insanely cool. Like if that would happen, and I would spend my day, like I'd drive in, I'd fight the traffic. I'd be like 6-7 hours in Austin, just trying to do that. And that was after already doing it for a few years. And that was like in 2021. And then to now be in the position where I'm still just a local comedian. In my book, I do a few headliner stuff like outside, rarely, but like I get to do it. I get paid to do it. I'm making some money from doing comedy, and I get to do it quite a bit in the sense of getting up on the stage, and I have the ability to do it and perform in front of real audiences, sold out crowds, and just people. And it's like, it's easy, and I see it with people, and I realize I just have to keep the mindset of always being appreciative of the fact that I get to do this now, and I get to perform, and I don't lose sight of that, because dude, you see comedians who aren't that great. It's always people, they lack self-awareness. They disrespect comedians or audience members' time. They just go, yeah, but I'm just working on this, and they let them know like, hey, yeah, I'm just working on some new stuff, but yeah. And they just they completely lull and phone it in. They're not giving the crowd what they paid for. And that happens. And listen, I think, I'm not God's gift to comedy at all. I don't necessarily think I'm a great joke writer. I'm trying, but there's like a little bit of give and take, because if you do that, you phone in your set and you're just like, I'm just going to work on all this new and do 100% new, then you're relying on you're basically saying, well, not all the other comedians are going to be the ones that have to give this to them. But then it doesn't seem fair, because you can't give a whole show of people doing that. But it's like, give them some good, work on the new stuff, and then, give them their money's worth. At least try to, because you can easily, I'll bomb, dude, and I'll get caught in a crab swirl, dude, where you're just like, oh shit, dude, this is not going great. But all that to be said, I truly just appreciate, I don't know. I try to appreciate everything that happens, and the problems that I have, and things that I'm like, I gotta do that, and blah, blah, blah. But, it's just great, ladies and gentlemen. Things are good. Dalen is going to be back next week. We're going to have a couple episodes and some new stuff. And I love you guys. I just wanted to make sure I put out an episode We laughed, we loved, we lived, we cried, we lived, laughed, loved. All right. And remember, no matter what, I still love you. If you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. I am Evan Lopez. Subscribe to the podcast, and I'll see you next week.